Urban+Lao Pianmen+No female Lead+Non Shuangwen. The plot develops at a slow pace and there are no major ups and downs. There are various exciting points, so don't enter if you don't like it. The story is written based on a small portion of real life experiences and most of the fiction. Because of this, it is more realistic, without too many ups and downs in the plot, and dislikes detours. Where there are people, there are rivers and lakes. The martial arts world is not about fighting and killing, but about human relationships and worldly wisdom. I don't think this statement is entirely correct. To be precise, besides fighting and killing, there are also many people in the martial arts world who are worldly wise. Jianghu children, besides loyalty, are more about benefits. In 2002, I entered the second detention center of the ancient city on charges of injury. 4 months later, he was released on probation. I can't go to school anymore, I have to work. While serving dishes at the restaurant, I met a middle school classmate named Xinwei. After his introduction, I entered an entertainment city in the south of the ancient city as a waiter. From then on, I started the days that I couldn't look back on. Introduction is mediocre, please move to the main text. Chapter 1. Exit from Detention Center. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the afternoon of May 13, 2002, at 3:00 p.m., I was 19 years old at the second detention center in Guqing City, Sancha Province. The number 1 prison building, commonly known as the Haozi. On the bunk bed, I was eagerly embroidering flowers on a large net. On 2 iron frames, a large scroll-like net was placed on top, surrounded by 8 people on both sides, picking yarn with needles, and busy tapping the back of the head against the blueprint. This should be the earliest cross-stitch I came into contact with. Zhao Yang, the discipline outside the door, shouted inwards from the 0.2 square meter opening on the door. I stood up at attention. Brother, he patted my shoulder and said enviously, brother, you're going to let it go. I nodded, it should be. My case was heard in court 5 days ago. This is my 123rd day here. Come out. Yes, I quickly got out of bed, put on those 10 yuan cloth shoes, and walked towards the door. The door has already opened, and I stepped out with my hands outstretched, waiting to wear a silver bracelet, which is already a daily operation. My surname is Zhang, and I have a good relationship with my father's brother Zhao who takes good care of me. Your dad is here, you can go out today. I feel very guilty, I can think of how much my father has been going through during this period. Surrounded by high walls on all sides, armed police soldiers are patrolling. I followed the discipline to the front door, and a yellow warning line blocked me. I stood at attention in front of the warning line and shouted loudly. Report to the class monitor. The high wall uploads a go sound following Zhang Guanjiao out of the high wall. We arrived at the instructor's office. At this point, Father Zhao Jiangwo was already waiting here. Zhao Yang, come over here. The instructor waved his hand. Walking up to his desk, there was an ordinary wooden table covered with a piece of glass, with several photos pressed under it. Come on, sign here and press the fingerprint. I quickly finished signing and pressed my fingerprint. The instructor looked at it and put it aside. Lao Zhang, have you settled the accounts yet? Zhang Guanjiao was sitting on the side, holding a cigarette in his mouth. Oh, it's clear. I spent it all the day before yesterday. The account book is very important, and most of the suspects detained in the detention center are those who have not been arrested by the procuratorate or tried by the court. There are only a small number of inmates with shorter sentences, and this ledger is where these people purchase supplies, mostly instant noodles, drinks, snacks, and cigarettes. Because there is a small shop of its own in the detention center. As for the money on the ledger, it was naturally advanced by the family. The instructor called my dad over again and he took out a notebook. I have been here for 123 days, and my living expenses are 5 yuan per day, totaling 615 yuan. My dad took out 6 Mao grandpa cards from his bag and also took out 15 yuan. The instructor opened the locked drawer and put the money inside. Come here to sign. Not bad, people like me who are being detained need to pay living expenses to the detention center. Although it's not much stronger than pig food, I just came in for a week and it's said that everyone is like this, changing their stomachs. After completing the procedures, the instructor stood up and patted my shoulder, earnestly reminding me a few words before I left with my father. We father and son didn't go home directly. Father took out the waveguide flip phone he bought for 2,800 yuan and made a phone call. Then I followed my father to a small hotel. After opening the door, he took out a new set of clothes, new underwear, and a pair of new shoes. Go take a shower and put it on. I don't know if it fits well, just make do with it. I picked up my clothes and walked into the bathroom. I haven't taken a shower in 4 months, and the same goes for those people in the room. At this point, there are already lice on the body. The last time this thing grew was when it was 5 years old. After taking off my short sleeves and pants, I was completely naked. That's right, I wasn't wearing any underwear. Because my underwear was stolen, not only that, but my shoes were also taken away. Fortunately, I was wearing sports pants and didn't need to tie my waist belt. Otherwise, the pants can only be hung at my waist, and the cloth shoes on my feet were given to me by Zhang Guanjiao, which is 10 yuan. After taking a shower and changing clothes, my father took me to a Sichuan restaurant. After waiting for about half an hour, he answered a phone call, left the private room, and soon followed in a person. In his 40s, he was holding a bag under his armpit. This person's name is Zhang Jianping, a comrade in arms of his father Zhao Jiangwo. He fought in self-defense and counterattack against Vietnam, and his father saved him. Later, when I switched jobs and returned, I am now the deputy captain of the Public Security Detachment of the Municipal Police Bureau. This person has many interactions with me in the future. This is your Uncle Zhang. Zhao Jiangwo introduced to Zhao Yang. Uncle Zhang, I politely called out. The middle-aged man glanced at me and gestured for me to sit down. Just come out and be fine in the future. Don't let your dad worry anymore. My father and I are both in an awkward situation. At this moment, the father took out a small handbag from under the table and stood in front of the middle-aged man. Jianping, thanks to you this time, it's just a small gesture. Old class monitor, what do you mean? To be honest, I couldn't help this time. If you had told me earlier that the case wouldn't have reached the prosecutor's office, everything would have been easier. I know you never want to ask for help in your lifetime, but if it weren't for you, my grave grass would have been 2 meters tall. Can I accept your gift now? Seeing his resolute attitude, his father did not refuse. Next, the two of them exchanged cups, and Zhao Yang occasionally accompanied them. After finishing their meal, the father and son returned to the hotel. My father spoke earnestly for several hours, but I could only keep listening. The next morning, my father and I planned to go to my cousin's house. During my time studying in the ancient city, my cousin took good care of me. At this moment, my dad received a call from my high school classmate Chenbing. In middle school, he had a good relationship with me and had also been to my house. Wait here for a while, Chenbing said he and his classmates came to find you. This child is good. He even went to deliver things to you during the Chinese New Year, but the detention center does not allow it. You can go out and take a look, leave your phone number for you, and go directly to your cousin's house later. Okay, after my father left, I waited at the bus stop outside the hotel for more than 20 minutes and finally met Chenbing, as well as my old classmate and best opposite-sex friend Ning Huan. At that time, it was popular to recognize siblings. She was the girl I recognized. Unfortunately, now we have no interaction, mainly because we are afraid of affecting them. What moved me the most was when I met her, the person that I had been longing for the next decade or so, Wei Wei. She was my high school classmate, and we met in our third year of high school. She was my best friend at the same table, and the first time I met her, I fell in love with her. Later on, we became boyfriend and girlfriend, but we couldn't get into any school in college. Fortunately, we all studied in the ancient city. At this moment, he couldn't care much and threw himself into my arms, tears streaming uncontrollably. We just hugged each other for a long time before we parted ways. In fact, from the moment I entered, I felt that I had no interaction with her in this life anymore. After all, from now on, I will be a criminal record holder, and she still has a bright future. My home is in a small mountain village in a county under the jurisdiction of the ancient city, which is quite far from the city. At that time, transportation was inconvenient and it took 3 hours by car. On the third day, when they returned home, their mother Lu Shufang and sister Zhao Ying, along with their 1-year-old nephew, had been waiting for a long time. The family had a reunion dinner. On January 8, 2002, Guqing University. I stood up for my good brother, Mao Yang, injured Wang Jiadong from the law school, and was subsequently arrested. On the 10th, I was arrested and sent to a detention center for detention. With Zhang Jianping's activities and my father's voluntary compensation, I was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 3 years of probation, and since then I have become a prisoner. After returning home, I proposed the idea of working to my parents, and so far, they have not opposed it, so that's all. The next day, my father hurriedly left home and went to work at a workplace 1,000 kilometers away. Chapter 2. Joining Old Lu Chuanxiang Restaurant. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After my father left, the villagers began to gossip. After his father Zhao Jiangwo switched jobs, he waited for distribution. With 14 years of military service, he achieved third-class merit twice in self-defense and counterattacks. However, it took 2 years before being assigned to work as a worker at the Geological Bureau. I didn't have much spare money at home originally, so I compensated more than 20,000 yuan this time. For our small mountain village, we can't borrow so much money. My dad can only borrow 20,000 yuan from a person named Peng Jian in the town, with a monthly interest of 2 cents, and repay the principal when it's due. It's nothing more than breaking the other person's head and losing a tooth. My mother gave me 1,000 yuan, but I only took 400. Early in the morning, I got on the bus heading to the county town and then backed up to the south of the ancient city. Because Guqing University is here, I am quite familiar with it. During the first semester of college, I often go out to work part-time, so I have a better understanding of this area. I only have 400 yuan, although the prices are not very high at this time. 400 yuan cannot withstand spending, so I plan to find a job that includes food and housing. I arrived at Jian village, located 3 kilometers away from Guqing University. Although it is an urban village, it is also a transportation hub due to its proximity to Guqing University. So, it's quite bustling, with many restaurants, hotels, and the like around. My family is sitting next to each other, checking if there are any job postings posted at the door. At this moment, it was time for the meal, and there were many people eating in each shop. I'm thinking of applying at this time, and I'm afraid they won't have the time to talk to me either. So I sat by the roadside, waiting. In the afternoon, I looked at the quartz watch in my hand and it showed 2.30, so I started looking at it house by house again. At the entrance of a shop called Lao Lu Chuanxiang Restaurant, there was a recruitment notice that attracted me. Recruiting 5 waiters, aged 18 to 30, regardless of gender. 1 chef with side dishes, regardless of gender, aged 18 to 45. A dishwasher, female, aged 35 to 50. Once hired, the above positions offer free meals, accommodation, and preferential treatment. Interested parties are welcome to discuss in person. Phone. I walked directly into the door and the waiter immediately came up to greet me. Hello, is it alone? I nodded. The waiter guided me to sit down and prepared to bring me the menu. I quickly got up and said hesitantly. Well, may I ask, are you recruiting waiters here? Do you think I can handle it? The waiter is a girl about my age, and she looks at me in surprise. Oh, wait a moment. Then he turned around and went to the second floor. In no time, she shouted at the staircase on the second floor. Come on up. I walked up to the second floor and followed her to a room. A man in his 40s, with a fat head and big ears, was sitting on the sofa, puffing in the clouds. Are you applying? Yes. The man glanced at me a few times and said impatiently. The probationary period is 3 months, with a monthly salary of 240 yuan. After 3 months, the employee will become a full-time employee, with a monthly salary of 300 yuan. The employee will be provided with food, accommodation, and work clothes, with a deduction of 40 yuan. From 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., there will be no vacation for the time being. As there are more staff in the future, specific arrangements will be made. I nodded and said, okay. Okay, come tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. with your luggage and bedding. I came to the street and was already very hungry. I went to the village to find a noodle shop and spent 2 yuan to eat a small bowl of noodles. Then I found a small hotel in the village, which costs 20 yuan per night and also has TV to watch. Settled down, I went downstairs to buy bedding and pillows, which cost me 40 yuan. The next morning at 9:20, I arrived at Lao Lu Chuanxiang restaurant. At this moment, I met the waiter from yesterday again. Are you here? The girl pulled another slightly older girl over. Captain, this is the person who came yesterday. Okay, I got it. Take him to change clothes first. Li Heng followed her to the warehouse and put on an old piece of clothing. Luggage and bedding were placed in the warehouse. The clothes were a red coat, and I came to the hall wearing it. It was exactly 9:30 at that time. There are not many people, only 7 or 8 people, among whom there is a man. I didn't see him just now, but now he looks quite familiar. The foreman first welcomed me, then talked about some things that happened yesterday and needed attention, and arranged for yesterday's waiter to take me. After finishing, the male waiter walked over with a smile. Zhao Yang, it's really you, Zhao Wei. I also smiled, it's really a coincidence that I can meet acquaintances. Zhao Wei is my junior high school classmate, to be precise, my junior high school classmate, because when I was in junior high, I transferred to a school in the county to study. Oh my, haven't we seen each other for a few years? No, I haven't seen it since graduating from junior high school. The foreman walked over at this moment, showing a very unhappy expression. What are we talking about? We're working. Zhao Wei seems very dissatisfied with this woman. I said Chen Meng, she doesn't start work until 10 o'clock, it's only 9:40. Does this restaurant belong to your family? Zhao Wei, if you can do it, do it. If you can't, leave. I am the leader, so you must obey me. Zhao Wei's face was clearly not good, and I quickly pulled him away. Forget it, we're here to work. Let's endure it. Zhao Wei finally calmed down and pulled me to the back door. He pulled out a cigarette and gave it to me. I don't smoke, but I was upset and didn't refuse. After Zhao Wei lit it for me, he also lit it himself. After taking a deep breath, he turned his head to look at me. Oh, no, I heard you went to college. Why did you come here to work? I sighed and shook my head. Alas, it's hard to say. I was expelled from school, and I'll talk to you again when I have the chance. I just sucked in the smoke and sprayed it out through my nose, it was a bit choking, but I could still accept it. Alright, it's time for work. I was busy until after 3 o'clock when the boss instructed Zhao Wei to take me to a residential house in the village, which turned out to be a accommodation arranged by the restaurant. A large single room with 4 rack beds inside. There are 3 bunks below, one is empty, and I happen to be staying. The other 2 are for the kitchen with 2 side dishes, and the chefs rent their own houses. I stayed here for almost 2 months, during which Wei Wei came to see me several times. On July 15th, it was my first full monthly salary transfer. However, after the salary was paid, I specifically paid 200 yuan. Wasn't it agreed to be 204? I already deducted 40 yuan from my work clothes last month, so I went to find the boss feeling very unhappy. You were late twice last month and fined 40. I am very helpless. Last month, I and Zhao Wei were late twice. We started work at 10 o'clock and didn't arrive until around 10 or 10 o'clock. I walked downstairs helplessly and told Zhao Wei about this. Zhao Wei let out a cold snort. Forget it, I don't plan on doing it anymore. Let me tell you, my cousin works as a foreman in an entertainment city on the other side of Erwu Road. I heard that the waiter earns much more than here. I plan to go, do you want to come with him? Is it reliable? I'm a bit skeptical. After all, I came from a small mountain village before, and I have been to a KTV before. I have no idea what the entertainment city is all about. Zhao Wei's face showed displeasure. Can my cousin talk nonsense? He started as a waiter. I'll tell you, if you're lucky, those bosses' tips will be higher than your monthly salary here. Think about it, and if you're willing, resign tomorrow. In the second half of the day, I began to fantasize about whether I could earn 800 yuan a month by going to the entertainment city, which is my dad's monthly salary. In the evening, I made a decision and told Zhao Wei that I wanted to go. Chapter 3. Oriental World Entertainment City. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Wei and I went directly to the boss to resign the next day when we started working. The boss was holding a cigarette in his mouth, looking indifferent. Sure, you can leave on the 15th of next month. Zhao Wei is not willing, he wants to leave now. Boss, I think I'll leave in the next few days. It's also possible, but I can't settle my salary for the next half month. Why? The boss said disdainfully, the state has a regulation that you should apply for resignation 1 month in advance. That's why, Zhao Wei, I didn't mean you. You've worked here for almost a year, haven't you? If it weren't for the shortage of people, I would have fired you his mother long ago, and I would have been angry when I saw you. Lu Fatty, I'm just a mediocre person. I don't want my salary anymore, isn't it just over 100 yuan? It's not enough for me to play mahjong. Go to Nima's little brat, get lost, Lu Pengzi slammed the table and cursed. Zhao Wei turned around and left. I quickly chased out. Zhao Wei, don't you want half a month's salary anymore? Over 100 yuan, don't want it anymore. I went to my cousin's place, maybe I'll earn it back in a day. Can't I leave? I still want to follow Zhao Wei to work in the entertainment city. He has already left, can I continue to stay? Okay, let's go now. I'll go talk to Lu Yanyan, after all, they've been treating me well these past few months, and they're also my master. Okay. Take off your clothes, throw them away, damn it. At this moment, it was the morning meeting time, and downstairs I had already heard Zhao Greatest cursing the boss Lu Ziming. I took off my clothes and went downstairs with Zhao Wei, walking towards Lu Yanyan. Thank you for helping me during this time. I have to leave, and if there is a chance in the future, I will treat you to dinner. Zhao Wei and I threw our work clothes at the bar and left. As soon as Zhao Wei left, he went to the public telephone booth on the roadside and took out an IC card from his pocket and inserted it. Hello, cousin. This is Zhao Wei. You're sleeping. That's what you told me last time. Aren't you hiring waiters there? Yes, I resigned and can work anytime. Yes, I also have a classmate who wants to go, do you think? Don't worry, I'm the same age and height as me, at least 1.78 meters. Yes, we've been working as waiters at Lu Pengzi's place for over 4 months. Alright, let's go over this afternoon. Zhao Wei hung up the phone with a smile on his face. Alright, let's go to my cousin's place at 4 p.m. this afternoon. He should take us to the entertainment city to meet the manager. There should be no problem. The waiters there require height and appearance, as well as experience. Our experience goes without saying that we are so handsome, and we don't have to worry about height. How tall are you? 1.8 meters. Damn it, you're bragging. I think we're about the same height. I'm only 1.78 meters tall. At 4 p.m., we went to the house rented by cousin Zhao Wei, which is an old residential area. Zhao Wei knocked directly on the door, and then the door opened. Cousin. I also called out brother. Zhao Wei's cousin's name is Zhou Dong. He is 23 years old and quite handsome. He glanced at me and then asked Zhao Wei. Is this your classmate? Zhao Wei nodded and said, cousin, I didn't lie to you, did I? Well, not bad. Alright, let's go over now. Erwu Road is an entertainment street with a bathing center, KTV, internet cafe, and nightclub. Zhou Dong brought us here and walked to a place called Oriental World Entertainment City. It's very imposing, with 5 floors. I thought I would enter directly, but Zhou Dong took us to the side and entered through a side door. Arriving at a room on the 2nd floor, I looked at the sign that read, Manager's Office. Zhou Dong knocked on the door and a sound came from inside. Zhou Dong instructed us to wait at the door, and then he entered by himself. After a while, he opened the door before we followed in. Tiger Brother, this is my cousin and his classmate. The person named Tiger Brother is very delicate and even a bit feminine. Wearing a black suit, with hair in mousse and a shiny comb. I really can't figure out why I should call him Tiger Brother. Call it Tiger Brother. Zhou Dong instructed the two of us. Tiger Brother. The man nodded and said, well, that's good. Dongzi, you've been here for 4 years and you've done a good job. Since you introduced me, I'll stay and handle the rest. You too, work hard with Dongzi in the future and definitely earn much more than you guys do in a small restaurant. Thank you, Brother Tiger. Don't worry, with me watching, they will definitely do well. If you don't thank Brother Tiger, Zhou Dong smiled at Brother Tiger and turned to face us with a serious face. Thank you, Brother Tiger. Tiger Brother waved his hand. Alright, take them down. Come to work tomorrow night. Okay Tiger Brother, I'll leave first. After speaking, Zhou Dong left with us. After leaving the entertainment city, Zhou Dong began to introduce us. Our entertainment city starts work at 4 p.m. and stays until 4 a.m. There are many entertainment options here, and we are only responsible for serving the wine and fruit tray in the private room on the 2nd floor. Whatever guests order, you are responsible for delivering it in. Understood, Zhao Wei and I replied. Zhou Dong also reminded, remember, the most important thing is service. The customer is God, and we must not argue with the customer, let alone take action. Cousin, do we not care about food and accommodation here? Zhao Wei walked forward and pulled Zhou Dong to ask. Living doesn't matter, manage a work meal in the middle of the night and take turns eating. The time is a bit long, but the income is not cheap. By the way, I forgot to tell you. Your salary is 501 months. As for whether you can get a tip, it depends on your own luck. Zhao Wei is a bit dissatisfied with his salary. Cousin, I heard there is a commission for promoting alcoholic beverages. Can't we promote them? What are you thinking? That's all done by the ladies. We're just waiters, don't mess around, otherwise you won't know how you died. Don't worry, the people who come here are all wealthy. When they are in a good mood, they can easily give a tip of 50 to 100 yuan. If you give a tip a few times a month, you can still get 1,000 yuan. Cousin, aren't you working today? It's already after 5 o'clock. Zhou Dong glared at Zhao Wei. It's not you yet, just give me a last minute call. I'll have to take a day off today. Otherwise, if you come over and I'm working, how can we arrange for you? Alright, you guys should rent a house first and come over tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. Farewell to Zhou Dong. The two thought that there was no urban village nearby, so it would be cheaper to rent a house in Jianlan village. And it's not far, only 3 miles away. Returning to Jianlan village, I searched for an hour and found a satisfactory house, which was a residential suite, a small house, a large house, and 2 beds. It's just that there is no bathroom. It costs 100 yuan per month, which is a bit expensive. However, Jianlan village is relatively more expensive here than other villages. We returned to the dormitory, got a bedding, moved over, went out to celebrate in the evening, ordered a few side dishes, and drank half a box of beer. I called Wei Wei's dormitory from a public phone and told him that I had changed jobs and moved to a new place. When she comes back, she will have a place to stay. Chapter 4. Headbanging others and being headbanged by others. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The next afternoon at 2 o'clock, we went for dinner, tidied up a bit, and then walked away. Arriving at the entrance of the entertainment city before 3 o'clock, I smoked a cigarette and waited for a while. Zhou Dong walked over with a swaying motion. You came quite early. Zhou Dong led us to change into white shirts, black pants, black vests, and black leather shoes. There is also a bow tied around the collar of the shirt. Li's neck is very uncomfortable. There is also something similar to a walkie-talkie on the body, as well as a earphone. Wearing a license plate on the chest, 009 at 3.30, a lot of people came one after another, including men and women, all of whom were about the same height, handsome men and beautiful women. It's a big entertainment city, and the waiters have such high demands. Zhou Dong introduced us to everyone and designated 2 people to lead us. One night, I kept studying with this brother named Hu Xiaoding. In this way, Zhao Wei and I learned for 3 days. On the 4th day night, we finally had to go to work by ourselves. At around 8 o'clock in the evening, I started to be busy until around 12 o'clock in the morning when I had just finished cleaning room 205 and stood in the corridor. Zhou Dong, with a few guests, opened the 205 private room again. In no time, a woman led a group of young ladies into the private room. She was the public relations manager here, Chu Hong, and everyone called her Red Sister. Then Hu Xiaoding carried a few bottles of foreign wine into the private room. In no time, Hu Xiaoding came out, complaining that he probably didn't receive the tip, right. Then, Red Sister walked out. I nodded to her and said, Red Sister. This is the number of times I called her, and I can't remember clearly. Although I only came for 4 days, she never spoke to me. Well, handsome guy, are you new here? Well, yes, damn it, this woman actually spoke to me. I dare not look at her at all. She is too seductive, with a stunning figure and a voice that even makes people feel like bones are about to crack. Work hard, sister, keep an eye on you. After speaking, she twisted her buttocks and left. I never imagined that in the days to come, so many things would happen between me and her, let alone that I would fall in love with her for a while. About half an hour later, sound came from my microphone. 009, come to the bar. It turned out that Hu Xiaoding had gone to eat, and the guest from 205 ordered a few bottles of foreign wine. I don't know anyone, but looking at the price on the list, I was very surprised. Damn it, wealthy people are really spendthrift. I walked to the door with a plate and knocked. No response. It's very noisy inside, so there shouldn't be any sound. Push open the door and close it by hand. There are 5 men in the private room, each holding a young lady. I walked up to the table and squatted down. There were already several empty wine bottles on the table, which they should have finished drinking. The ones I brought were probably newly ordered by them. I'm thinking, why isn't a waiter responsible for a private room here? How chaotic it is. However, this is not something I should consider. Hello sir, this is the wine you ordered. Have a great time. I was about to get up when a bald man waved at me. Sir, do you have any further instructions? The bald man pulled out a red Grandpa Mao from the bag on the table and handed it to me. I am very excited, 100 yuan, and I am also very lucky. The first time I entered a private room, I encountered a tip from the boss, which was still a 100 yuan bill. I took the heavy 100 yuan with both hands and stood up to bow. Thank you, sir. Don't come in again without my instructions. I nodded and said, I understand, sir. Then I walked out of the private room. Returned to the bar and handed over the plates. Returning to the corridor and continuing to stand, I saw Zhao Wei waving at me with a smile on his face from a distance. I think he also received a tip, right? I was waiting for Hu Xiaoding to come back. When he came back, I had to go eat. I was already very hungry, but at that moment, the door to the private room suddenly opened. A young lady ran out with messy clothes. Quick, find Red Sister quickly. Then she was pulled in with her hair pulled, and our earphones could only listen, not answer. I don't know where Red Sister is, so I plan to go find Zhou Dong. But at this moment, suddenly Bald walked out and pulled me back to the private room. At this moment, I saw several men in the private room lying on the young lady, tearing at her clothes. Immediately afterwards, there was a burning sensation on my face. Damn it, what? You want to find someone? I was slapped with a bald head. Sir, you can't do this. I'll go fuck you. Bald and kicked me to the ground. I flew over a meter away and fell beside the young lady who had just run out, and my earphones also fell off. At this moment, she was holding her stomach, her face twisted, accompanied by a low moan. The TV screen in the private room is playing music with a loud sound. Seeing these ladies' clothes torn open, I got up from the ground. Damn it, these people are too brave to openly rape. At this moment, the bald head was kneeling on the sofa with one leg, pressing on the hands of a young lady, while another person was taking off her bra. I rushed over with a bottle of foreign wine on the table, but without any warning, I smashed it onto his head. The wine bottle didn't break, but there was already bleeding from his bald head. He covered his head and couldn't react for a moment. The young lady lying on the ground stood up and opened the door, running out. The man who had just taken off the Mrs. Bra next to him got up and grabbed a bottle of wine before smashing it towards my head. I only felt a moment of confusion, and then blood flowed down my forehead and into my eyes. At this moment, the other three people also realized the situation. Seeing this, I quickly opened the door, intending to escape. At this moment, a group of people holding a guy had already arrived at the door. Red Sister is also among them. They saw me covered in blood and wearing the clothes of a waiter, and pulled me out. A group of people rushed straight into the private room, with only Red Sister standing outside, making a clattering sound. The remaining four young ladies shouted and ran out. The clothes were in a mess, and Red Sister took them away. At this moment, there was a sudden sound of gunfire in the private room, and I don't know what was going on. Zhao Wei and Zhou Dong have already come to support me, and at this moment Tiger Brother has also arrived. He glanced at me and instructed Zhou Dong. Take him to see the wound first. Then he pushed open the private room and walked in. At a small clinic, I got 5 stitches on my head. Zhou Dong complained on the side, what can you show off? Those young ladies were supposed to do this, but now it's okay. If you hit someone, you might get fired. I think you'll have to pay for your medical expenses yourself. Upon hearing this, Zhao Wei hurriedly said, don't worry, cousin. Lao Zhao is doing this for the sake of our entertainment city. How can he be fired? Besides, he was also dragged in by others. At this moment, Zhou Dong's little phone rang and he took it out of his pocket. Hello, brother Hu, oh, it's not a big deal. I sewed 5 stitches and did CT, okay, I got it. After hanging up the phone, Zhou Dong said calmly. You're lucky, Tiger said he wants to take you to the hospital for CT. Let's see if your head is damaged. You'll be resting at home these days. Then I went to the hospital for a CT scan. There were no major issues, so Zhou Dong took out 200 yuan from his bag and handed it to me. Tiger brother instructed me to buy some delicious food to make up for it in the next few days. Cousin, don't go back to work tonight, take him back. After completing the task, Zhou Dong left. Chapter 5. Beating Pang Jian on the street. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 3 days later, Zhao Wei returned to the rental house and brought a message back. Let me go to the entertainment city together in the afternoon. At 3:30, I arrived at Tiger's office. Is the head injury okay? I shook my head and said, it's okay, thank you very much, Tiger. Tiger, can you not dismiss me? I finally found this job. At this moment, the door was pushed open and a few people walked in. I quickly stood aside. Tiger brother quickly got up and walked around the table. A person with a big back came in, holding a cigar in his mouth. Boss, why did you come? Tiger brother respectfully stepped forward and said. This person is in his 40s and a bit thin. He is sitting on the sofa. If I don't come, can you handle it? Shit, the old dog son of a bitch came to my place to make trouble, and his mother used a spray. He doesn't pay attention to me. Tiger turned around and waved his hand at me. I understand, he was asking me to go out. I turned around and was about to go out when someone stopped me. Stop. He looked at brother who quickly explained. Big brother, this is the waiter who beat Biaozi that day. Grass, you're really young and reckless. Why are these little brats so ruthless now? They have more seeds than us back then. Tiger brother can only accompany a smiling face. Come on, you come over. I had to slowly approach. Tiger brother quickly said, this is our boss, Mr. Gu. Hello Mr. Gu. Mr. Gu nodded and said, you have a lot of courage. Do you know that those people were carrying a tantrum that day? If they came over with a tantrum, your life would be ruined. Spray. Is it a gun? No wonder I heard a gunshot that day. Damn it, it's so suspenseful. If that person gets angry and gives me a shot, then I'll be finished. Mr. Gu, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have taken action. Don't fire me, I really need this job. Who the hell said they're going to fire you? Let's go down and work hard. I said thank you and walked out. Later, I heard from Zhou Dong that those people did indeed use guns that day, but they only used one and didn't dare to harm anyone. That group of people were sent by Old Dog, whose original name was Go Fugue. The number one figure in the southern part of the ancient city, specifically responsible for watching and making money for various entertainment venues, of course, he also has his own industry. However, Erwu Road is the busiest entertainment street in the south of the city. Old dogs naturally envy it, but this is the territory of my boss, Mr. Gu, and Mr. Gu Xinwei. All the venues are watched by his people, and the largest entertainment city is still his own industry. Old Dog is furious and just wants to cause some trouble for Dongda World Entertainment City. His original intention was to have him go down and find the lady, and then directly handle matters in the private room. He would then report and have the police investigate. Unexpectedly, the ladies here don't work in the entertainment city at all. If they want to come out, they can go outside. So the subordinates became anxious and used force directly. This leads to the rest. But it is said that the matter has been resolved, and I have not inquired further. Days passed by like this, until 3 months later, a few events changed the trajectory of my life. At the end of October, my father was forced to retire early due to a recurrence of wartime injuries. After retirement, it means he can only receive 70% of his salary per month, leaving only 600 yuan per month, and without many benefits, most importantly, without year-end dividends. To be honest, my dad's salary is less than 10,000 yuan per year, but when he receives good dividends, he can also earn 10,000 or 20,000 yuan. I don't know how Peng Jian found out about this. He forced my dad to repay the money in advance. My dad can't take it out at all. He not only hit my dad, but also moved all of my TV, receiver, and other items out of my house, claiming they were used as interest. I learned about this when I called home the 5th day after the incident occurred. I took a leave with brother who borrowed 1,000 yuan from Xinwei, and spent another 300 yuan to buy a second-hand mobile phone. I hurriedly returned home. I got off the car in front of the rural square and went to the meat stall next to the square to buy meat. This meat stall is owned by Mr. Wu from our village. Uncle Lu, get me 2 pounds of meat and some pork belly. Wu Lao Lu was watching TV in the shop when he heard someone calling him. He turned his head and saw me. Oh, isn't this Xiaoyang? Are you back? Come back to see your dad. I nodded and said, Uncle Lu, do you know where Peng Jian's family is? Wu Lao Lu was a bit surprised. He kindly tried to dissuade me. Why are you asking this? I'll tell you, don't be impulsive. That Peng Jian is not easy to provoke. He's also considered a bully in our village and has connections with those people at the police station. You can't afford to provoke him. Uncle Lu, where are you thinking? I just wanted to discuss repayment with him. Seriously. Uncle Lu, my dad borrowed money from me, and I should also repay the money. I can't afford to provoke Peng Jian. Can I still go to him desperately? Well, that's right. His house is right over there, behind that row of houses, in that 3-story building. By the way, your dad likes to eat pork belly, so I'll go get it. As soon as Wu Lao Lu turned around, I picked up the machete from his chopping board and headed straight for the Peng Jian family. At this time, there were not many people who could build a 3-story building, especially since Peng Jian's family was not located in the center of the street. I walked through the alley and soon saw a 3-story building. I hid the knife in my bag, held the backpack in my hand, and didn't pull the zipper on the bag. Is Peng Jian at home? Who is it? Soon a chubby man with a beard all over his face and a height of only about 1.6 meters walked out. Who are you? What can I do for you? I gave a faint smile and reached into my bag with my right hand. Xiaoyang, don't do anything foolish. Peng Jian, run quickly. Uncle Lu shouted from a distance. Peng Jian was taken aback for a moment. I took out a machete from his bag, and Peng Jian reacted quickly. He turned his head and ran away, and I swung my knife to cut through the air. Then I threw down my backpack and chased after him. Unexpectedly, this guy had a back door. I followed him from the back door all the way to the street. Killed, killed. Peng Jian ran and shouted. But his small physique, how could he run past me? I was unfamiliar with the area at his house just now. As I was about to catch up, my mind also calmed down a bit. I took the knife and turned it around, with the back of the knife facing down. I rushed forward and slashed him on the shoulder. Peng Jian fell directly to the ground, covering his shoulder. Oh my, I'm chopping people, I'm chopping people. I kept kicking, and stomping on his face and body with my feet. Because it wasn't a big sewing episode, there weren't many people, but many people also gathered around. At this moment, Wu Lao Lu snatched the machete from my hand and then pulled me apart. Xiaoyang, don't do anything foolish. I kicked Peng Jian again. Grass mud horse, if you dare to beat my father, I will let you look good. If it wasn't for Uncle Lu's sake, I would kill you his mother today. Peng Jian lay on the ground, with a bruise and purple on his face. Are you Zhao Jianwo's son? If only you knew his mother, I will pay you back. Give me half a year, and I will earn a lot of money with profits. I wanted to pay, and then I remembered throwing my bag away just now. Xiaoyang, are you looking for a bag? Zhu Laolu handed the bag to me. I took out money from my bag, and there are 3,000 yuan here. 1,000 yuan was borrowed from Zhao Wei, and the other 2,000 yuan was saved by me during this period. I drew out 500, and threw the rest onto Pang Jian. This is 2005, which is the interest for the half year. I will pay you all the principal 6 months later. If I can't pay you back, I'll let you deal with it. If you dare to go to my father again later, I'd rather go to the office again and cripple you. The villagers of this era are still very simple, and most people have never seen this scene. I am not afraid of Pang Jian's revenge at all, because I plan to use the connections of my father's comrades in arms. My father will never seek anyone for his whole life, which is not right. In my opinion, kindness is about owing. Only when you owe, others will remember you, and in the future, you will have the opportunity to repay it. This is how we can maintain contact and network relationships. Chapter 6. Our childhood sweethearts, two little ones without guessing. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After I walked away, I heard Pang Jian cursing and speaking from behind. You wait for me. Returning to Wu Laoyou's meat shop, I took 2 pounds of pork, along with some pig liver, 2 pig hearts, and a pig colon. Give the money to Wu Laolu, he won't accept it. Alright, take it back to make up for your dad, just take it as my heartfelt gesture. Thank you, Uncle Lu. I didn't refuse either. To be honest, many people in the village received help from my father back then. Because my father is a state-owned enterprise employee, more than 1/3 of the people in the village have borrowed money from my family, and Wu Laolu is one of them. His meat shop was opened with money borrowed from my father back then. At this point, the shuttle bus to the village had already left, and I still had 10 miles left. Wu Laolu lent me his bicycle again. He also has a motorcycle. If it weren't for my lack of knowledge, I would have borrowed it from him. After returning home, I didn't mention this matter to my parents. But the next day, the police surprisingly brought Pang Jian to their door. My dad always said that the police wanted to take me away, and he kept saying that I was hitting someone while serving my sentence and wanted to detain me. But when I mentioned Pang Jian hitting my father, they didn't care at all. Helpless, I picked up my dad's phone and prepared to call Zhang Jianping. But my dad snatched it away. I thought he didn't agree, but he started calling. Ah, Zhonghua, yes, it's me. How have you been lately? Yes, I have something to do with you. He's also doing it for me. I was beaten up, and my son was so angry that he beat him up, yes. Later, my dad handed the phone to the police officer who came over. Who is that? Director, hello. I am Wei Chang, a police officer from Mingyuan Township Police Station. Yes, okay, Director, rest assured. I will mediate first. If the director says anything, I will tell the director. After the incident, the police handed the phone back, and my dad chatted with the person on the phone a few more times. Okay, I'll be waiting at home with my siblings. At this moment, Pang Jian's face turned green and he was pulled aside by Wei Chang. Soon, Pang Jian walked into the room with a smiling face. Oh my, brother Jiangwo, it's all a misunderstanding. When will it be convenient for you to repay the money like this? I don't want the interest anymore. After speaking, he took out a stack of money from his bag and handed it to me. This is the interest you gave yesterday. I didn't answer and pushed his hand back. It is only natural for me to repay a debt. If I say, repay, I will definitely repay it, and the interest will be as much as it should be. This. Pang Jian looked at my father and then at Wei Chang. If they return it to you seriously, you can take it and don't rush anymore, Wei Chang said with a disdainful expression on his face. After they left, I apologized to my dad. My father sighed and said, in this world, having power is different. I used to be unwilling to ask people for help. If I had found someone earlier, you wouldn't have done this. You would still be studying in college. I don't know how to comfort my dad either. It was me who caused the problem, but fortunately, the matter in front of me has been resolved. I am under a lot of pressure. I have already spoken my mind. In 6 months, it will cost 20,000 yuan. Although my dad said he will find a way, what can he do? 2 days later, my dad followed me by car to the county town and picked up a lot of mountain goods from the villagers these past few days. Because he needs to go to the home of his comrade who called for help. Li Zhonghua, my dad's high school classmate and comrade in arms. When my dad was in high school, my grandfather passed away and he dropped out of school. After working in the production team for 2 years, he joined the military. Li Zhonghua joined the military after graduating from high school because the college entrance examination was not resumed at that time, and he was not recommended to go to university. But he graduated from high school and started working in the army. Later, he transferred to our county public security bureau and is now the director of the bureau. I'm separated from my dad because I'm going back to work at the Oriental World Entertainment City. At this moment, my phone rang. It was Zhao Wei calling, saying that Wei Wei was looking for me. It was only then that I realized that I had bought a phone number for her. Rushing back to the rental house without stopping, Wei Wei burst into tears as soon as she saw me. It turned out that a senior in her junior year was chasing her recently, but when she refused, that person didn't give up and kept pestering her every day. Helpless, I could only tell Zhou Dong to ask him to help me take another day off, because I planned to meet this senior at Wei Wei's school the next day. That night, Wei Wei and I stayed in a rental house, and I even instructed Zhao Wei to go to an internet cafe after work to make do until dawn. Wei Wei and I have been in a relationship for 5 years since our 3rd year of junior high school. But to this day, at most this is kissing, there are no more intimate movements. This night, we still haven't made any substantial progress. The next day, I accompanied her back to school. Wei Wei's school is not far from here, located more than 10 kilometers away at Guqing University of Technology. I have been here many times and am familiar with the road. Before I could find that person, I saw him downstairs in Wei Wei's dormitory. He was waiting downstairs with a rose in his hand when someone from the dormitory window saw Wei Wei and pointed him at her. When he saw me, his originally smiling face suddenly became gloomy. He is Lin Yifan, a senior in our computer science department, Wei Wei whispered to me. Lin Yifan walked over with a smiling expression. Wei Wei, where did you go yesterday? I waited for you all day. Today is Wang Chen's birthday in our dormitory, and I hope you can accompany me. Are you sick while riding a horse? What's the relationship between Wei Wei and the person in your dormitory's birthday? Who are you? Let her accompany you. I said without hesitation. Who are you? Lin Yifan asked with a displeased expression. I am her boyfriend, I replied arrogantly. Lin Yifan suddenly laughed. Oh, I see. You're the Zhao Yang who has been imprisoned before. Look at how much you weigh. I heard you're working as a waiter now. Do you think you can still match Wei Wei? Lin Yifan, don't talk nonsense. Who told you these things? Isn't it Cui Mengjie? Wei Wei quickly refuted him. Lin Yifan looked sincere and said, Wei Wei, what I'm saying is true. He's a waiter and has been imprisoned before. You're a college student, and there won't be any intersection in your future paths. Wei Wei impatiently said, we were childhood sweethearts and had no guesses. Besides, Zhao Yang used to be at Guqing University, much better than our school. What qualifications do you have to look down on him? Can you get into Guqing University? So what? As a waiter, how much money can he earn per month? My monthly allowance is more than his salary. I already know who Lin Yifan is. He should be a second-generation wealthy man, but I don't get used to him. You have a crazy mind when you step on a horse. Damn it, your money has something to do with me. Although I don't earn much, that's what I earn. You do have money, do you earn a part of it yourself? Humph, aren't you just a waiter at an entertainment city on Route 25? Do you believe that just one phone call from me can make you unemployed? I walked up and kicked him in the chest without any hesitation, and he fell directly to the ground. I rushed forward, grabbed his collar, and punched him twice in the face. Damn it, I hate people threatening me the most. I'll tell you, if you dare to pester Wei Wei again in the future, I'll come over and beat you up every day. You, wait for me. Lin Yifan covered his face and left with a gloomy expression. Wei Wei returned to the dormitory and I left. Wei Wei's dormitory. Cui Mengjie, I treated you like a good friend and only told you about my boyfriend. And you actually told Lin Yifan everything. How much did you benefit from accepting him? Cui Mengjie pulled Wei Wei without any guilt. Oh, Wei Wei, I'm doing it for your own good. Think about it, Zhao Yang is now a waiter, but you are a college student. Besides, his family is still in the mountains, and your family is at least in the county town. Do you think your parents can agree to your decision? Don't worry about it, I love Zhao Yang, and he also loves me. We were together in the 3rd year of junior high school. Chapter 7. Getting beaten and fired, I want revenge. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Someone interrupted again at this moment. Wei Wei, what Mengjie said also makes sense. Even if you don't like Lin Yifan, you and Zhao Yang will never have a result. Cui Mengjie quickly agreed at this moment. That's right, we are adults now. You need to consider carefully. If you don't mention anything else, let's just say we learn computer science. Can Zhao Yang afford a computer for you? I don't need him to buy it for me. I returned to the rental room, cleaned up briefly, and took a nap. After waking up, less than a little later, I was thinking, would Lin Yifan really cause me trouble? Can't I keep going? I go to work at 4 o'clock, and Zhou Dong asked about my father. A week has passed, and the days are very peaceful. Before I knew it, I forgot about Lin Yifan. One day, Wei Wei cried and called me, saying that she lost her computer. That computer cost 7 or 8,000 yuan. Although Wei Wei's family is from the county, they are not considered wealthy. What this computer means to him does not need to be explicitly stated. The next day, I got off work and went back to the rental house to tidy up. As soon as dawn broke, I headed straight to Wei Wei's school. However, downstairs in her dormitory, I saw a scene of heartache. Lin Yifan carried a laptop and gave it to Wei Wei, who accepted it. I left without looking back, and for several days, I kept shutting down. After thinking too much, I finally realized that maybe Wei Wei really needed a computer and didn't dare to tell her family. After all, it's still money that caused trouble, we must deal with money. I have seen too many wealthy people here. Apart from those big business owners who do serious business, there are also some who fish in the dark. I heard Zhou Dong say that the boss Gu Xinwei sells ecstasy in many venues, but he doesn't sell it in his own venue. I have never been to the 2nd floor or above of the entertainment city. I heard it's a sales cave. Bathing, one-stop service, the 5th floor is the casino, only regular customers can go up. In addition, Gu Xinwei has other businesses elsewhere. If I want to get money in the short term, I'm afraid it's impossible to rely on legitimate income, so I can only do these things. But I'm just a small waiter, how could I do these businesses? 3 days later, at around 9 p.m., I met an acquaintance named Lin Yifan. Zhou Dong opened room 203 and Lin Yifan walked in with 7 or 8 people. In no time, a message came through my earphone asking me to take the wine to room 203. There's nothing I can do, I can only grit my teeth and go. It's obvious that Lin Yifan came today to cause me trouble. The same process, once I enter the private room, place the wine on the table. Hello sir, the wine you ordered. At this moment, Lin Yifan paused the songs playing on TV and looked at me with a proud expression on his face. Hey, isn't this Xiaoyang? Brothers, it's Wei Wei's boyfriend from the computer department. The person next to him chuckled and said, oh my, it's really a flower stuck in cow dung. I tried not to burst out, so I had to leave. But surrounded by a few people. What's so urgent? I told your front desk that you can only come and serve me today. This is a tip. Lin Yifan took out 5 or 6 pieces of Grandpa Mao and threw them in my face. I'm not angry, damn it. You have money, right? I won't take it for free, I'll pick it up and put it in my pocket. Thank you sir, then I won't disturb you. But he was grabbed by someone next to him. I said, what's good about you? You're a poor person. What's that scumbag like about Wei Wei? Damn it. It's okay to scold me, but I can't bear to scold Wei Wei. I punched this person. Grass mud horse, you can humiliate me. If you dare to say Wei Wei again, I will fight against you. They were stunned for a moment, probably not expecting me to take action. After a moment, 7 or 8 people came up to beat me up. I grabbed the unopened wine bottle on the table and waved it. However, the heroes couldn't resist the wolves, and I was knocked to the ground by them. Lin Yifan took out his phone and made a phone call, and soon Tiger Brother arrived. Hey, who is Mr. Lin Lisheng's son? Lin Yifan took a sip of the huazi in his hand and spat a cigarette at Tiger Brother. I am. Tiger glanced at me lying on the ground and then asked. Lin Gongzi, what's going on? How did we beat our waiter up like this? Damn it, he was the one who moved his hand first. If a waiter dares to hit a customer, do you still want to do it? I asked my uncle to copy your place. Tiger Brother is very angry. Damn it, isn't your uncle just a police station director? What are you talking about? Isn't your father just starting a decoration company? Kohu Gu will not break the rules of the entertainment city for me, let alone offend Lin Yifan for my sake. Hey, Master Lin, I apologize to you. It's my fault. Don't worry, I'll compensate for the medical expenses. I'll pay for Master Lin's expenses today. Damn it, what do you mean? Can't Lin Yifan afford to pay? I'll tell you, this kid hit me. If you don't deal with him, I'll have my uncle copy this place. Brother who is angry. Damn him, he really needs to be beaten. He told his uncle to copy here. Does your uncle have that ability? But Yen Wang is easy to avoid, and Tiger Brother understands the truth that little ghosts are difficult to deal with. Moreover, at this moment, Tiger Brother hates me the most. Don't worry, I will definitely give you an explanation. Tiger turned his head and opened the door to the private room. Soon, Zhao Wei and Zhou Dong walked in. Tiger Brother. Go and pick up Xiaoyang. Zhao Wei looked at me lying on the ground, my face covered in blood, and quickly ran over. Xiaoyang, how are you? Cough, cough, I'm fine. Tiger Brother walked up and slapped me twice, then picked up a wine bottle and threw it on my head. I lay down again in a daze. Brother who, are you? Zhao Wei looked resentful, but before he could finish speaking, he was stopped by Zhou Dong. Lin Gongzi, are you still satisfied? Tiger Brother asked. Lin Yifan let out a cold snort. Damn it, is this all over? Just dismiss him, that's all. Okay, just do as Master Lin said. I was supported by Zhou Dong and Zhao Wei, and couldn't bear it anymore, so I fainted. When I woke up in the hospital, the first thing I saw was Zhao Wei beside me. Are you awake? Oh my, you've been unconscious for several hours, but fortunately there's no major problem. It's just that you've lost a lot of blood, got a few stitches on your head, and the rest are all skin injuries. Tiger Brother gave 1,500 yuan. 500 is your salary, and 1,000 is for your medical treatment. I've spent over 500 already, and the rest is here. Zhao Wei finished speaking and took out an envelope. Did I get fired? Zhao Wei nodded. It's good if I don't work on that place, damn it. That person is obviously here to find fault. Tiger not only doesn't protect his own people, but also helps outsiders to clean up his own people, without showing any loyalty. I smiled helplessly. We are all ordinary people, Tiger brother cannot offend Lin Yifan just to use it. Besides, in front of interests, what is loyalty? I treated Ma Liang as my brother, but he was beaten up. I took it out on his behalf and ended up like this. Ma Liang has not shown his face to this day. That Lin Yifan is the one who is clinging to Wei Wei. I hit him in front of the school last time, I continued. His mother, no wonder that guy is a bit of an expert, isn't he? I heard from my cousin that his uncle seems to be the head of the police station in the Erwa Road area. I nodded, it was indeed so. Not only that, his family seems to have some money, he can be considered a second-generation wealthy man. Ah, Zhao Weichang sighed, forget it, let's endure it. We ordinary people have no choice. Hee, endure it. If they have a backing, then I don't have one. If they can succeed this time, I will not only retaliate against Lin Yifan, but also Tiger Brother and the Entertainment City. Chapter 8. Visiting Zhang Jianping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as I finished speaking, Zhao Wei's mouth opened wide in surprise. Sleeping trough, I didn't see it, brother. You still have a support. Tell me quickly, who is your support? Find your support earlier. Are you still using it as a waiter here? Hee, I chuckled slightly. That's what I said, but it's not easy to do it. The first thing that came to my mind was Zhang Jianping, but relying solely on my father's relationship with him and my one-sided relationship with him, it is obviously impossible for him to fully help me. People are human because they weigh the pros and cons. There is no benefit, everything is just empty talk. Zhao Wei, are you sure you're not doing it anymore? Zhao Wei hesitated a bit and said, to be honest, I really don't want to do this through you, but if I don't, there's no other profitable job. Ah, I sighed. I have figured out this world. Without power, one will be trampled on. Look at me, if someone beats me, Tiger Brother dare not let out a fart. Not only did he beat me, but he also fired me. If my uncle were an official at the city police station, would Tiger Brother still behave like this? Zhao Wei shook his head and suddenly turned to look at me. Damn it, you just said you have a backup, shouldn't your uncle be at the police station? I shook my head with a bitter smile. I don't have that strength, but I do know someone at the city police station. Really? Your relative. My dad is a comrade in arms, but it's not easy to rely on him. These days, without benefits, I'm afraid it's not possible. Forget it, let's talk about it later. You go to work first. I'm going to look for a job recently and go get me discharged. After leaving the hospital, I returned to the rental room and stayed for 3 days. During these 3 days, I have been thinking about many things. On the 4th day, I went home and got some mountain products. When my parents asked about my injury, I said that I fell down accidentally and was hit by a bottle on the shelf and broke my head. The leader asked me to rest and pay back my salary. I want to thank the leader. By the way, I mentioned Zhang Jianping to my dad, saying that he helped last time and didn't thank him. It's better to bring some mountain goods this time. My dad agreed and called Zhang Jianping. My mother also asked me to bring a few photos for Zhang Jianping's wife. After staying at home for a day, I returned to the ancient city. At noon, I called Zhang Jianping. I have already obtained his phone number from my dad's phone before. Do. After 3 sounds, the other party heard a voice. Hello, is that Uncle Zhang? I'm Zhao Yang, Zhao Jiangwo's son. We've met before. Oh, Zhao Yang. What's up? Uncle Zhang, I am currently working in the ancient city. A few days ago, I went home and my dad asked me to bring you some mountain goods. He asked me to thank you. Oh my, the old class monitor is too polite. So what? The old class monitor told me, okay. If you're free tonight, come to my house. Please take note of the address. I didn't expect Zhang Jianping to let me go directly to his house, so I took note of the address. In the evening, I bought a Chinese double medium cigarette and spent $500. I bought another bottle of Maotai and spent 4.8 yuan. I'm afraid of buying fake alcohol, so I went to a tobacco and alcohol specialty store and asked for around 500 yuan of alcohol. Double check, don't be fake alcohol. I feel so sorry for going out for almost 1,000 yuan. At 6 o'clock in the evening, with a nervous heart, I took a taxi and went to a residential area in the north of the city. At the door, I called Zhang Jianping and soon he came out to pick me up. This is an old residential area without an elevator, located on the 4th floor. After entering, Zhang Jianping's wife Chuanxiang was very enthusiastic. You are Shuqin's sister.in.law's son. Oh my, when your mother and I were in the army, we didn't have you yet. Your sister was only 3 years old at that time. It's been over a decade since we last saw each other. In the self-defense counterattack war, before my father's army took turns, many soldiers from different families went to the army and were usually responsible for helping the troops cook. My mother and Chuanxiang both had salaries to earn. Aunt Chen, my mom also mentioned you to me, and she asked me to bring you photos. Okay, come in and sit down. The meal is already ready. I took out the mountain goods. Uncle Zhang, Aunt Chen, these are the worthless mountain goods that my dad asked me to bring to you. I took out another photo and handed it to Chuanxiang. Aunt Chen, this is a photo. Chuanxiang took the photo and pulled Zhang Jianping to look. This is Sister Shuqin, this is me, this is Guilian. When the army was going to war, I left the army before the photos were ready, so I didn't get these photos. Fortunately, your mother left a few days late, and now I finally have them. I placed another bag on the table next to me. Uncle Zhang, this is a little something from me. You child, I heard from your father that you just started working, what are you doing with this money? Uncle Zhang, you've been so helpful to me. I didn't have the ability before, but now my income is decent and I can make money. I just want to thank you. Halfway through the meal, I roughly understood that Zhang Jianping has a son who works in the south, and both of his parents passed away due to illness. Halfway through, Zhang Jianping answered a phone call and when he returned, his face was red and he took out a bottle of Wuyangya, insisting on holding me to drink with him. At this moment, Chuanxiang asked. Has it been decided yet? Zhang Jianping shook his hand, but Chuanxiang didn't ask again, probably avoiding me. Looking at Zhang Jianping like this, is it a promotion? He only returned from his career 10 years ago and became the captain of the Public Security Brigade of the Municipal Public Security Bureau from a County Public Security Bureau captain. Gucheng City is the provincial capital. Now it's going to rise again, and this speed may not be without the supply. After finishing my meal, I left. When I went down to the 2nd floor, I met a few people carrying several handbags. Did you inquire clearly? Is it here? It's here, Unit 1 of Building 6. Which one is it? 402, isn't this Zhang Jianping's house? I brushed past them and intentionally bumped into them. A handbag fell to the ground, and inside it, a stack of red fur fell out. You're blind, damn it, one of the people in their 30s cursed. I quickly apologized and said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Get lost, you little rabbit. They picked up the bag and were about to leave when I asked. Are you looking for me, Uncle Zhang? Both of them were stunned at the same time. I just heard you say Unit 1 of Building 6, 402. Isn't this my Uncle Zhang's house? The two of them looked at each other and then turned to me, another person in his 40s wearing a pair of golden glasses. Do you know Captain Zhang, little brother? This person approached me, took out a stack of Grandpa Mao, and stuffed it into my hand. I quickly pretended to refuse. Little brother, if we have something to do, please help me call Zhang's team. Thank you. I accepted the money halfway and roughly felt it. It should be around 1,000 or 800. Okay, come with me. At the door, I knocked. Chuanxiang opened the door. Ah, Xiaoyang. Aunt Chen, these two people are looking for Uncle Zhang. They can't find the door, so I brought them up. Aunt Chen, I won't disturb you anymore. Let's go first. After speaking, I left quickly. After leaving the building door, I took out the money from my pocket and counted it, no more, no less, just 800. I didn't leave, just squatted on the side of the building. After waiting for about half an hour, those two people came out. I didn't expect it to go so smoothly, but going out for 100,000 yuan all at once is really heartbreaking. You know what? As long as he is willing to accept it and has him covering it up, earning back this 100,000 yuan is not an easy task. Damn it, it seems that Zhang Jianping is really a money collector. Living in such a house on the surface, pretending to be honest and collecting money behind the scenes, but it's even better. Chapter 9. Threats to Zhang Jianping. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. At this time, Zhang Jianping's family. Lanxiang, do you think Xiaoyang brought them up? Yes. Zhang Jianping pondered for a moment and lit a cigarette. Pick up the bag containing cigarettes and alcohol again and open it. Zhonghua, Maotai. Wow, Xiaoyang is a waiter. Even if he has a tip, he can earn over 1,000 yuan a month at most, which is why he gave away a gift of 1,000 yuan. Chen Lanxiang is also a bit surprised, it shouldn't be. Lanxiang, if Xiaoyang finds out about this matter and goes out and talks nonsense again, I'm afraid. Can't he? What can he know? A young boy who has just entered society. Zhang Jianping shook his head and took out his phone. Hello, Uncle Zhang. I just got on the car and received a call from Zhang Jianping. I'm in the car, I'm almost there. Those two people, I met them on the stairs. I heard him say your address, asked, and then took them up. What, I didn't see it. I know now, how could I say something nonsense? Zhang Jianping called to test me and asked me not to mention the gift they just gave to anyone. Zhang Jianping, who hung up the phone, still felt uneasy. The person who gave him the gift just now was Zhou Shuangwen, the owner of an entertainment city in the north of the city. He made a few more phone calls and asked for Zhou Shuangwen's phone number. After asking about the situation just now, Zhou Shuangwen dared not conceal it and spoke in detail. Zhang Jianping gave a cold smile. Lanxiang, Xiaoyang is not easy. He doesn't have the same personality as the old class monitor, you know. This kid pointed the door and earned 800 yuan. And he saw Zhou Shuangwen's money. Chen Lanxiang looked worried. What should we do then? It's okay, if this kid has the same personality as his father, I'm still a bit worried. Now I'm not worried at all. With his love for money, it's not a big deal. I got off the car and after careful consideration, I decided to call Zhang Jianping. Uncle Zhang, I just forgot it's hard to say in the car. I saw that person carrying a bag of money. While waiting for the car on the roadside, I watched them come out empty-handed and smiled as they got into a car with a license plate. Don't worry Uncle Zhang, I know what to do. I won't talk nonsense. Uncle Zhang, you've helped me so much. Maybe I'll need your help in the future. After speaking, sweat broke out from my head, and I was clearly threatening him. After Zhang Jianping hung up the phone, he picked up the wine bottle on the table and smashed it. Chen Lanxiang was startled. What's wrong with you? Xiaoyang just called, he didn't even leave just now, and he also saw Zhou Shuangwen go out empty-handed. So what's going on? Chuanxiang asked in confusion. Humph, he took the initiative to call, explaining what. It means he's telling me that he has my leverage. Can't he? Can a child have this trick? Chuanxiang doesn't believe it. He, don't forget, he's a student at Guqing University and has been in there for 4 months. But I'm curious, why did he do this? Where did he say he works? After thinking for a while, Chuanxiang said, in the southern city, on the other side of Erwu Road, it seems like an entertainment city called the East. Oh, how can I remember that? Well, alright, you don't have to worry. 3 days later, I suddenly received a call from Zhang Jianping. Uncle Zhang, it's me. Do you have anything to do with me? Let me tell you some news. The Municipal Bureau is going to launch an action to crack down on entertainment venues in the next 2 days. I'm really excited about what I want to do. Oh, I see. Thank you, Uncle Zhang. Uncle Zhang, actually, I have something to ask of you. You say. A while ago, a guest said he was the nephew of the director of the Erwu Road police station. He beat me up, but the boss not only didn't help me, but also broke my head with a wine bottle and fired me. I wanted to ask Uncle Zhang if he could help me find a job. My meaning is very obvious. I was beaten by someone for no reason. The entertainment city didn't help me, but also beat me. Not only did it hit me, but it also came to get rid of me. Got it, I'll keep an eye out. These past few days, Wei Wei has called me many times, but I haven't answered. Today, she came directly to the rental house to find me. Zhao Wei put on her clothes and opened the door. She walked in, looking aggrieved. Zhao Yang, why don't you answer my phone? I didn't speak, Zhao Wei explained for me when he saw this. Wei Wei, then, Zhao Yang was beaten a while ago and has been recovering from his injuries. He has had several stitches on his head. Wei Wei hurriedly stepped forward to look at my head, but I pushed her away. It's okay, let's not contact each other during this time. Let's calm down for a while. Wei Wei stood still, tears streaming down her face. What's wrong with you? Did you fall in love with someone else? I lay down directly and covered my head with a blanket. Zhao Yang, that's what you said. If you don't keep in touch, then don't keep in touch. After Wei Wei finished speaking, she turned her head and ran out of the room. Zhao Wei pointed at me and then chased after me. In no time, Zhao Wei returned. What are you doing? How difficult have you two been to this day? Lin Yifan gave her a laptop, and she accepted it. I saw it with my own eyes. Zhao Wei sighed and closed the door without saying anything. I picked up a novel beside me and started reading it. That night, in the early hours of the morning, Zhao Wei returned with a mournful face. I haven't slept in the past 2 nights, and I want to wait for Zhao Wei to come back and inquire about his situation. What's wrong? Zhao Wei sighed and said, damn it, the police suddenly came tonight and everyone upstairs was investigated. This is enough for the boss to drink a pot, catch a large number of gamblers, ladies, and clients. Even my cousin has been arrested. If I weren't a waitress, I would definitely have gone in too. The city bureau's actions are quite fast. Tiger Brother should have been taken away, right? Where's Brother Who? Caught, he's the manager, he definitely can't run away. This time, the boss is probably going to finish his job. Zhao Wei's thinking is too simple. If Gu Xinwei can do this, there must be someone above him. I just want to see if his relationship is strong. Now I see that Gu Xinwei's relationship is not tough. Although it was a sudden inspection by the Municipal Bureau, many people would know about such inspections. However, Gu Xinwei did not receive any news. Obviously, his back end is not very strong, and he should be from the Chengnan branch. However, Gu Xinwei is wealthy. As long as it's not for the order of the Public Security Department, he shouldn't have much trouble this time, but he may not be able to start his business for a while. Moreover, we will have to lose a lot of money. How are you looking for a job? It's impossible to do it in the entertainment city, and I don't know if the salary can still be paid. While I was thinking, Zhao Wei asked. I didn't find it. You haven't seen it these past few days. I'm sleeping like you during the day. Zhao Wei threw me a cigarette, lit it for me, and he also lit it. It's not a problem to keep doing this. We have to find a job tomorrow, and it won't work if we keep doing this. I nodded. Indeed, if this continues, the money will soon be spent, and I still owe Zhao Wei 1,000 yuan and Pang Jian's money. However, whether my plan can succeed or not, there must be results. Zhao Wei, I have to tell you that I already knew the city police station was taking action, but I didn't tell you. If I told you, maybe you could still be used by Tiger Brother. Zhao Wei suddenly stood up and sat down on my bed. Sleeping trough, how do you know? Didn't I tell you, my dad's comrade in arms? He's at the city police station. Lying trough, lying trough, lying trough. Zhao Wei said 3 sentences in a row. You have such a strong backstage, why didn't you mention it earlier? If Tiger knew you had this connection, Lin Yifan might have been beaten that day. Chapter 10. Gu Xinwei's Plan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Spring Festival is still over 2 months away, which is the most profitable time for the entertainment city. Gu Xinwei is currently in the interrogation room of the Public Security Detachment of the Public Security Bureau, and Zhang Jianping has just taken the position of the squad leader. As the legal representative of the Oriental World Entertainment City, Gu Xinwei was very panicked. This time, it was the Public Security Detachment of the Municipal Bureau who took the initiative and directly bypassed the Qingnan branch. Gu Xinwei didn't have time to find people or connections. In the interrogation room, Gu Xinwei has been wearing a silver bracelet, organizing prostitution, and opening a casino. The evidence is conclusive, but only his confession is needed. If the case is handed over to the prosecutor's office, then he's done. Zhang Jianping looked at the file and said, Dongda World Entertainment City, is that what Zhao Yang is talking about? Gu Xinwei, right. Yes. How about it? Is there anything to say? Gu Xinwei smiled and said, Zhang Brigade, I want to talk to you alone. The police officer next to him left with a keen eye. At this time, there was no surveillance or law enforcement recorder in the interrogation room. If you have anything to say, just say it. Zhang Jianping stood up and walked over to Gu Xinwei, patting his shoulder and saying. Zhang Brigade, can you please show your respect and let your brothers go? Well, I have to report to the director. I heard that Mr. Gu is also a prominent figure in the south of the city, and he is an entrepreneur who has made a lot of contributions to the ancient city. There are some things that you understand. Gu Xinwei smiled and thought to himself that there was a door. Zhang's team said, Don't worry, I know how to do it. Office of the Police Chief of Guqing City. Zhang Jianping knocked on the door and walked in. Director. Director Hu Yunhui was sitting upright on the side, watching the investigation reported by Zhang Jianping. Well, Jianping is here, you did a great job this time. Zhang Jianping walked to his desk and sat across from the director. Director, that Gu Xinwei is quite sensible. He is also somewhat famous in the south of the city. He not only owns an entertainment city, but also 2 construction companies. He is also a somewhat well-known entrepreneur. Well, you can handle this matter. The Municipal Party Committee and government have repeatedly emphasized the need to support small and medium-sized enterprises, and our police station naturally needs to implement the spirit of the Municipal Party Committee. Zhang Jianping gave a faint smile and became successful. I know the director. One day later, Gu Xinwei walked out of the gate of the security detachment. This time he had a lot of blood, but he didn't care about it. What he cared most about was the words Zhang Jianping said to him when he was about to leave. There is a waiter named Xiaoyang over there. I heard that not only did your people beat him, but they also fired him. Sigh. If you hadn't fired him, you wouldn't have been so unlucky during this big inspection. Gu Xinwei has been around for so many years, how could he not understand the meaning behind it? Xiaoyang, there must be a connection with Zhang Jianping. Damn it, I don't even know about this. It was all done by that tiger brat. Gu Xinwei has released it, and Tiger Brother has also released it, but the entertainment city will not be able to open for a while. After all, the police station is behaving like this, so what Zhang Jianping told Gu Xinwei was that it can only resume operations by the end of November at the earliest. 1+1 bar on Fomlin Road in the south of the city. This bar was just prepared by Gu Xinwei. It's not very bustling here, but it will be different in 2 years. Because this has become an ancient city development zone, many youth apartments and high-end residential buildings have been developed nearby. The most important thing is that there is an emerging industrial park on Fomlin Road, and many companies have already settled in. In the future, there will be many young people here. Gu Xinwei is sitting on a chair in the office, while Tiger Brother is lying on the ground. Do you know why I hit you? Tiger Brother was covered in blood and curled up. Boss, it's all my fault. Yes, it was my carelessness that I got copied by the police this time. Gu Xinwei shook his head and pulled Tiger Brother up. Tiger, why don't you call yourself a tiger in the future? Let's come out and hang out, with the word righteousness first. Our people have been bullied, and you don't protect them, but instead help outsiders. Tell me about you. Isn't this behavior making our brothers feel cold? Tiger Brother listened in confusion, but suddenly he thought of the incident where Lin Yifan went to the store to cause trouble a few days ago. Big brother, you all go down. Gu Xinwei instructed his subordinates to leave. He pulled Tiger Brother up from the ground and helped him sit on the sofa. Tiger, Zhang Jianping, the captain of the Municipal Public Security Detachment, asked me about Zhao Yang. Big brother, then Zhao Yang and Zhang Jianping. Gu Xinwei nodded. Tiger Brother was a bit shocked, but also a bit regretful. Normally, he should have protected Zhao Yang, but after weighing the pros and cons, he still gave up. After all, in his opinion, Zhao Yang is just a rural person with no money or support. For the entertainment city, he is an optional person. Although Lin Yifan doesn't have much background, compared to Zhao Yang, after all, they have money and an uncle who is the director of a police station. But he didn't expect that there was a captain of the Municipal Public Security Detachment behind Zhao Yang. Big brother, I know I'm wrong. Gu Xinwei patted Tiger Brother's shoulder to comfort her. Alright Tiger, I know you're also for the entertainment city. Don't worry about what happened just now. Let's come out and hang out. The word comes first, and I'll always make a show for my brothers. I understand, big brother. So Zhao Yang sighed. You go handle this matter and make sure he comes back. With him around, we can also have a conversation at the city bureau in the future. Although Tiger Brother is very unwilling, he has no choice. I know what to do, don't worry, big brother. I'll personally apologize. The moment I received Zhou Dong's call, I knew that my goal had been achieved. I am poor and destitute. If I want to succeed, I must learn to take advantage of the situation. This time, I risked offending Zhang Jianping, which led to this situation. From now on, I am afraid that I will only have a vested interest in Zhang Jianping. At his father's place, Zhang Jianping will no longer remember his friendship. Zhou Dong's phone number told me that Tiger Brother wants to treat me to dinner. In my opinion, Tiger Brother is still concerned about face, otherwise why not make a phone call in person and still have to go through Zhou Dong? However, it doesn't matter anymore. After all, he has been around for so many years, and apologizing to me, a newcomer, would always be embarrassing. Therefore, I didn't bring Zhao Wei with me. At 6 p.m., I took a taxi to a private restaurant on Chiwu Road according to the address. Arriving at the 3rd floor, outside the 306 private room. I knocked on the door, and soon it opened. Brother Zhaoyang, come on, Tiger Brother has been waiting for you for a long time. Zhou Dong is the one who opens the door. After I walked into the private room, Tiger Brother sat in the main seat smoking a cigarette with an unhappy expression on his face. Zhou Dong, you go down first. Zhou Dong walked out of the private room and closed the door. Tiger Brother's face suddenly changed, and the expression on his face that someone owed him 500 yuan just now immediately filled his face with a smile. Brother Zhaoyang, come and sit down. I didn't hesitate to sit next to Tiger Brother. Hee, brother, what happened a few days ago was a misunderstanding. I apologize to you here. After speaking, push a red envelope in front of him towards me. Hee, brother who is joking. What's the misunderstanding? How can I not understand? I wonder why brother who came to me today. Hee, brother, are you still angry with me? I came to see you today to bring you back to the entertainment city. From now on, you will be our manager on the 3rd and 4th floors. Sleeping in bed, he suddenly became a manager. Tiger Brother was in charge of the entertainment city. Previously, he mainly managed the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floors, while the 2nd and 1st floors were just for transportation. After all, compared to others, the 1st floor is just a game hall, an internet cafe, and a small business that doesn't make money. Its main focus is on concealing the truth. The 2nd floor drinks are relatively profitable, but they are also available on the 4th floor, but that's completely different. Huge, are you? I'm just a small waiter, how could I possibly become a manager? Besides, I've already been fired. Tiger Brother approached me and wrapped his arm around my shoulder. Brother, you're still blaming your brother. In this case, if my brother drinks this bottle of wine, he'll be apologizing to you. After speaking, I picked up the bottle and wanted to dry it.